back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Amanda Jewell and I make videos about college. Specifically, you probably clicked on this video to know my thoughts on transferring universities, maybe even specifically about the University of Texas at Austin. I made a video how I got into my dream school, aka the University of Texas at Austin. So if you are curious about that type of stuff, I will link that down below. I don't want to make this too much of a video of why I transferred. I will say I went to Texas Tech University for my freshman and sophomore year of college, and it was a really good experience. I will not deny that. And it was perfect for that part of my life. It was definitely a stepping stone and where I needed to be. Ultimately, I had always had the dream of coming to the University of Texas at Austin, and I always strived to be very intelligent. I cared a lot about academics, and I also cared a lot about what my family thought of me and how smart I appeared to my family, because my brother came here like 20 years ago, and then his wife as well came here, so it was just a precedent that I really wanted to live up to. I also was always just in awe of how selective UT was, and I wanted to fit their standards. So getting in here was really important to me on checking boxes of things that I wanted to fulfill in my own life. Regardless, I was not extremely happy at Texas Tech, and I didn't like being 5 hours away from my family. It also was very far away from a lot of things. Therefore, I felt personally trapped once I started to really dive into creative pursuits and wanting to pursue things that were in creative realms. I felt very limited. I made the best of my situation as I was there, but I knew I didn't want to be there longer than I had to. I worked really hard to maintain a 4.0 in order to transfer to UT. When I finally got the acceptance letter to UT, I was going through a really hard time last summer. I honestly didn't really know what UT had to offer, but I was just glad that I didn't have to go back to Texas Tech. I need to say, like, my experience at Texas Tech was very unique, and I will always love that place. It will always hold a certain place in my heart. However, my experience is not the same as everyone else's. So just because I wasn't happy does not mean that there are not 30,000 kids that go there right now that are content there, and that does not mean that you wouldn't like it, but these are my stories, so here we are. When I got into UT, obviously moved to Austin. Austin was one of my dream cities to live in, so I was really excited to finally get to live that dream. However, I did have a issue with a student that goes to UT, and it reached the links of where I had to seek help from authorities. And all I want to say is that regardless of how my body reacted to the situation, I have to commend UT on the way they handled it, because ever since the dean of students / student conduct got involved, I have had so many less issues, and I have been able to genuinely enjoy my experience here. So I'm really thankful to UT for being protective of students' lives / their experiences. So that's just something that's really important to me as a university too. Just zero tolerance for things like what I went through. And then once that was kind of handled, I began to get to really experience what UT had to offer. I started my classes, and what's so amazing about my experience so far is all of the professors I've had are badass. One, they're an amazing connection, so definitely it's awesome that I got to network with my professors who have established their career and have made a lot of successes in their lifetime. It's just so valuable to learn from these people, not only academics, but life experiences, and getting to network with them is really cool. The coursework, I will say, is a lot harder. So I took 15 to 16 hours at Texas Tech University, and yes, do not get me wrong, that was super hard. Like, I pulled many all-nighters, but at UT, it is such a rigorous course load that I personally have only taken 12 hours a semester, which is pretty normal here. But it was definitely kind of a culture shock for me, going from taking 16 hours to taking 12 hours and still being as equally stressed. And I almost had to work harder for my grades with just taking 12 hours than taking 16 hours and able to make a 4.0. Also, something that is very different that I wasn't used to is at UT, the GPA scale is a lot different. A 4.0 cuts off at 94. However, at my old college, it cut off at 90. Like, any A was a 4.0. UT, it's like 94 is a 4.0, 91 is like a 3.67, and it just goes down from there, like B minus, B, B plus. It's almost frustrating at UT because you could feel like a 4.0 student, but just because you have all A's doesn't mean you have a 4.0. You have to have all A pluses. So that's been something that I've had to kind of adjust to and realize my GPA doesn't define me. Yeah, and also the classes, this I don't think has to do with really UT versus another university. However, the time that I came into UT, I've just so happened to take classes that all are interesting. They're all things I care about, like photography, advertising. Like, I learn about influencers, I learn about YouTube. Like, that's insane to me, and I know that that's probably just because I'm finally in a major that suits me. I did transfer into the advertising school instead of staying in finance and marketing like I was at my old university, so that could have a lot to do with it, but it's just been a very, very good experience to be learning about things I care about. I also personally love my time at UT because it's in Austin. I know that I've already said that, but Austin has always been a city that I've dreamt of being in, and it's really cool to be in a hub that people that aren't in college want to come to Austin anyway. So it's cool to intermix city life and school. That's been awesome, and that there's just so much to do in Austin outside of UT. I also love the people. So at my old school, I felt like I was more time than not surrounded by people that just didn't have the same vision as me. They weren't interested in creative pursuits, and they weren't always the most open-minded people. However, at UT, there are a larger population of liberal people, a lot of artistic individuals, and just people being more open-minded. I feel like vlogging around UT is a lot easier for me, and it's also been nice because I've had a lot of UT students come up to me and say like, hey, like, I've seen your YouTube videos, like, da-da-da. So also, if you're watching this, hi. I'd also say that at UT, I've been a lot more involved with the school. Besides like student contact, I joined Gamma Beta Phi Honor Society. Also, I joined the Daily Texan as a photojournalist. That was a really big dream of mine because I really wanted to be able to pick up the Daily Texan from the newsstands that scatter throughout the university, but also throughout different business establishments in Austin. And to see my name in it was a really cool full circle moment. I have like a whole wall and a bunch of copies of publications that have my work in it. It was nice to be in a journalistic environment, especially one that is widely recognized. The Daily Texan is like one of a few university publications that still print 5 days a week. And there are a lot of Pulitzer Prize winners that come from the Daily Texan. Transferring to UT has also been awesome because there is just such a huge network of people that have gone to UT. So some downsides of transferring universities is a lot of people make their friends their freshman year of universities. When you transfer in as technically a junior, it's harder to find a group of friends. I particularly honestly was just going through a really hard time last year that when I did finally get to UT, I had to try to juggle a new school, like losing a lot of friends, and I didn't want to make new friends. Yeah, and I've been lucky to have friends like Madison who goes here and would try to actively get me to go out or to meet her friends, and I just would always kind of recluse because if I wasn't working on school, I would want to use any of my free time on YouTube or photography. I've gotten better about that now, so I have started to actually like let people into my little bubble. But another thing that I would also say is, since I transferred in, I came in with like over 70 hours. However, you need 60 hours on UT campus in order to get a degree. Therefore, when you're only taking 12 hours a semester and you don't want to do summer school, I'm going to be here for an extra year. Also because I changed my major. So my major at Texas Tech was finance and marketing. When I transferred to UT, I got into advertising, which is like a taste of business, but mainly a taste of creative. So I extended my time here basically, but I'm still minoring in business at McCombs. So it works out because all those credits from Texas Tech will help me finish my minor here at UT. If I was sitting here right now thinking I only had a year left of college, I would not really like that. I'm honestly glad that I have 2 more years left because I feel like I didn't get enough time at UT. It's really cool because I used to get really sad thinking about going back to my other university just because it was so far and like a lot of other factors. It's been so refreshing to know that I get to come back to Austin and that I get to go to UT, and it's just completely spiked my motivation, my will to live. It's a really cool feeling to be where I love and to get to do what I love and to get to study where I've always loved. Like, I would say that if you are watching this and you are at any school that you don't feel right at, that's okay. Like, it clearly happens, okay? And there are plenty of other people here on this platform and in real life that they just didn't get it right the first time. Don't give up. Apply. It doesn't matter how old you are. Do what's in your best interest. If you're watching this and you go to Texas Tech, don't think I'm like talking crap about the school. Like I said, this is my experience. I have the right to that. If you're watching this and you're thinking about going to UT, do it. Do it, do it, do it. I am so happy and blessed and grateful to get to go to this school. If you have any other questions about UT or my transfer experience, definitely, 1, check out the video down below about how I got into my dream school, but 2, message me on Instagram at @amandajewell. I will help you out. I will reply as fast as I can. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're curious about my life here at UT, I have a whole playlist dedicated to the University of Texas. Until next time, I will see you all in the next video. Bye!